Hey, good morning, everybody. What's going on? So today's live stream is kind of jacked up. What's going on? But so yeah, pretty much. Uh, hang on. Anyways, got some things I want to talk with you guys about. Some things that's actually pretty jacked up that just recently happened with Visible, and so I'll kind of go over that, let you guys know what the deal is. Also on top of that, talking about Google Fi and data calculation. So, just a little thing here with Fi and stuff and whatnot. Man, it's totally jacked up. But as you're coming in, feel free to say hi, leave a comment, chat it up, whatever. Also, what kind of helps out is smashing that like button. That really helps. It helps circulate the live stream replay and everything like that. So deeply appreciate it. And definitely I am going to link this live stream onto Twitter, and I am going to tag Visible in it, because actually what happened was kind of messed up. Tim, what's up? What's going on? Google Fi dropped data only SIMs? No, they didn't. That's only for their third plan. So Google Fi has 3 plans now: the Flex, the Simply Unlimited, which doesn't support data only, and then the Unlimited Plus, which does. Because I have a data only SIM card on Google Fi right now. But I'll talk about the data calculations with Google Fi, because they're off. I will confirm from people that they are off and that they're not being calculated correctly. So, but I'll get into that. First thing I'm going to get into is Visible. Get this story out the way. That sucks for Simply Unlimited. Yeah, I guess so. But they gotta differentiate the Simply Unlimited and then the Unlimited Plus. Just the pricing is off, in my opinion. But okay, so Visible did something to my account last night, which is like, it was insane what happened. Before going to bed, I was going through all my emails just to see, looking for important stuff in case something came in or whatever that I needed to know about. So I always check my emails at night before I go to bed. And then there's an email from Visible that literally told me that was thanking me for being a customer and goodbye. And I was like, what the hell is this? And so I opened the email, and it told me that it was confirmed the cancellation of my account and that they're sad to see me go. My email will be saved with Visible, showing that I have an account with that email for a year. Or actually, I can just open the email and just kind of tell you guys what I saw instead of just explaining it. So let's see if I find it. FedEx. Where'd it go? Just do a quick email search then. Okay, yeah. So I got this. Thank you and goodbye. Right? I was kind of tripping out. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And it's like your Visible account, and gives my mobile number, and it's like, it's now closed. Before we say goodbye, take this survey to let us know what you liked about Visible and what we could do better. And it's like a link to take the survey. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't cancel my account. Like, what the hell's going on? So sure enough, I call my Visible number, and I get the Verizon message that the line is not in service. That's great. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on? So I contact chat, start chatting up with them. I'm just like, hey, why was my account closed? Why did you guys close my account? And who authorized to close the account? Because I never requested for cancellation. And so the chat rep is like, okay, well, let me see what I can do and figure out what's going on. I'm like, okay. So I was very stern about what I was telling him in chat. Like, I was upset. So I told him, I'm like, yes, my services need to be reinstated. And the remaining credit that I've earned from referrals back in 2019 need to be given back, which the last that I checked, I had an available credit balance of $240. And so the rep was curious as to, the account and everything like that. So they're like, how was the account started? And I told them, well, one of your PR people, her name is Pearl, set up this account because they reached out to me to test Visible and document my findings on YouTube to my subscribers. So I was one of the selected YouTubers that was given 1 month of Visible service, and also one of the YouTubers that was held under embargo before I was allowed to let people know that Visible was uncapping their data. So I told them that's how the account was set up, because they were going through the account history and they were like, okay, you know what? The account was started in June 14th of 2019. But the way that it was set up, because they have history of like what was going on with the account. So they see that the account was converted after when I told Pearl that I wanted to keep the Visible service. So they had to change it. They had to change its account status from a business account to a personal account. And therefore take all their information off, including the Amex card that they paid the bill on. So they had to take all that stuff off. And I'm like, that's the reason why you see all those changes in July of 2019, was because it got converted. I was like, but since I kept the service, I had, every YouTube video I made about Visible, I put my referral code in there, and I accumulated over $500 in credit in like the months to follow. After when they ended the referral program, it was then when the credit stopped accumulating. I think it was like 2 months after they said that they were ending the referral program, and then the introduction to the party pay is when the last time that I received a $20 credit for somebody signing up with Visible. So it was like $500 something. And from that point up until last month, I used those credits to pay my bill. So I hadn't paid a Visible bill in a while. And the remaining balance of credit that I had was $240. Plus, I already had a party pay group, which I'm pretty sure is jacked up right now because I can't even access the party pay. Hopefully it's still there when they reinstate my service, if they do. And so I told them, I was like, I'm not just going to let you guys reinstate my account and just leave it as is. Like, no way, no how. Like, I did you guys a service by making multiple Visibles and giving my unbiased details of what I thought of Visible. I did y'all a service, and the referral program that does not exist anymore. They have a new referral program, but the one that they had before, where you earn $20 credit for every person that signed up with your referral code, that referral program is gone. But the credit that I've earned from it needs to be given back. Now, I've worked in call center. I know the ropes when it comes down to how customer service is going to deal with a customer. I know how the accounts are handled and things like that. They may not be identically to what Sprint had, but the same format is still there, right? So obviously, I know that this chat rep is not going to be able to just instantly put $240 of credit on my account. I know this. I know it has to go to someone a little bit higher with a little bit more pull that can authorize that type of credit given. What kind of annoyed me was like the service, my Visible service is not back on right now. Initially, they tried to charge my debit card $5 to reinstate my account, which I told them was horseshit, because you're not going to charge me when basically this month has already been paid. It has been paid because I have available credit that's been paying the bill for me. And that's just from all the customers that were brought in under my referral. And no one can argue that point. You can't sit there and tell me, well, we can't give it back because then they can kiss my left foot. They're going to give me that back, or they're not going to get, basically, they're not going to get me back as a customer. And it's going to be even worse for them because business dealings with them is not going to be that great. First of all, I'm already pissed off that there's what I consider to be a breach in security, because I told the person, no one knows my password to log into the Visible app. Nobody does. And I never got any type of like text message that anyone was trying to enter the app or anything like that, or trying to recover password or anything like that, right? So to me, it's like, it's a bit fishy. Why was my account canceled? And the chat rep could not explain. Instead, it's been escalated. I'm supposed to wait for an email between 24 to 48 hours, and somebody on the next tier, like a tier 2 tech support, is going to have to contact me back, which I'm just like, okay, go ahead. Because I guess they have a level of access to look at the account to see. what's going on. Tech for your needs. And don't be sorry to hear that. This is one of the things that, people need to be aware of when it comes to Visible, if this type of thing is happening. And plus, also, anyone else that has had this happen to them can share their experience through a comment in a replay later on if they ever come across this live stream. It's not good business to mess with people that have helped put you on. And I'm no gladiator in this. I know Jay Wills was another person they reached out to. I know there were several other YouTubers that they reached out to. But this is not cool to just have my account turned off, for whatever. Now, of course, one can speculate and make all types of assumptions as to why they did it. The first thing that went through my head, to be honest with you guys, I thought they did this to me because they were tired of me getting free service all this time because of all that credit that I had built up. It literally paid the bill for almost 2 years now, right? This coming June 14th would have been my 2-year anniversary with Visible. Depending on how things go, I'm going to say it would have been. If they make this right, then it will be my 2-year anniversary with Visible. But if not, then I have no intentions of going back to the service. I'm completely done with it because I won't stand for a company that can let something like this happen. To some people, they'll probably say, hey, you're making a big deal out of nothing. I like to disagree with those types of statements. Your account being canceled without you even having any knowledge that it was set to cancel, with you not even having anybody else that could access your account, that's a bit alarming because right now, unless there's some sort of way that people can hack into your Visible account, literally this puts it all in Visible's hands. And if it's in Visible's hands, then I want to know why and who set the account to cancel, because accounts don't cancel on their own. And there are by steps that you have to take in order to cancel an account, because a confirmation has to be confirmed at least twice, kind of like two-factor authentication when you sign into an account. It's kind of like that. You need two-factor authentication to cancel an account. It's not just you click cancel and boom, that's it. It's done, right? It has to go through steps. And the reason why that these software programs that these carriers use to manage customers' accounts, the reason why it has that type of authentication to confirm cancellation is because they know that people make mistakes. If you have a cancellation button on the customer's account page and the rep accidentally clicks it, they want to have some sort of security measure to prevent an accidental cancellation. So if you click the cancel button or cancellation button or terminate account button, whatever the hell that button is, for the software program they're using, if you click that, it's going to need you to confirm and probably reconfirm to set cancellation. And that means that someone literally had to have just went in and canceled my account and just canceled and canceled and canceled. Like confirm, boom, canceled. You know what I mean? Like the thing that is different that I would say in this scenario, right? Because I don't know Visible's software program that they use to handle customers' accounts. I don't know if it's because I know with Verizon, their skeleton software was called, I believe it was called Vision. Because I remember not a lot of people knew how to use Vision at the Verizon call center. And it was like me and 9 other people at the call center knew how to use Vision, which was the backbone for the other software that they actually used on top of it that was more user-friendly. Vision was a little bit more harder to use, but it was much better to use because if people's back then, people would call in and be like, my Verizon line's not activated yet. It still says it's not been activated. We could actually go in Vision and force push the activation for the customer so their line would become active. But I don't think that Visible uses Vision. I don't even know if they even use Vision or if they created something new. I mean, yeah. So I sit and wait. And look for an email. And I told the rep, and I told the rep, I know it's not their fault. I'm not mad at them. I had to explain it to them. I am pissed that the account was shut down. But yeah. Better than FastPass, aka Slow Pass back in 2005 with Verizon. Um, I don't know. I just know that Vision was the core backbone of what Verizon customer reps used when handling customers' accounts. So they had another software that they had introduced that was a lot more user friendly, so it's easier for the reps to navigate customers' accounts and things like that, like adding on features and stuff like that. They had software that was easier to use, but Vision was the backbone of that software. It was the core of what Verizon initially used before that software ever came out, and you could actually force push someone's activation. You can see that it was stuck in limbo if it was. From the time that they went to a Verizon store, bought phones, and they set up for activation, and if the lines weren't activated or if the port didn't go, you can go in Vision and push it, and it will complete. So I just remember messing with it a lot because I was such a nerd over there at the call centers when it came to not smartphones, but mobile phones. Because back then, the most popular phone when I was working for Verizon was the Moto Razr. And so we did a lot with the Moto Razr, the LG Chocolate, all those phones back then. Yeah, so definitely I am going to tag Visible later, both Visible and at Visible Care, so they understand what's going on. Because there are people who kind of use that excuse. You know what I mean? There are people that will call in a customer service or chat it up with a chat rep and kind of like bullshit them and be like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, so I'll destroy your company. Like, I am in no intentions of threatening Visible with that aspect. But people do need to know if this type of stuff is going to be happening, because nobody wants to have to deal with the fact of just all of a sudden their account is canceled. But here's one thing I will suggest to Visible. If for some reason an account is going to be canceled, besides emailing the customer to have them take your survey and say thank you and goodbye, I think that a complimentary text message is in order. I got no text from Visible even saying that my account was scheduled to cancel or is in process of cancellation. No text at all. Nothing came through. This is why I didn't even know that my Visible line was going to cancel, because the only thing that they sent me was an email. But I don't check my emails throughout the day. I check my emails before I go to bed, so I know what I got to deal with the next day. If it's something important that I got to address, I check the email at night. I see the email, think about what I'm going to do, and then I execute my plan of order the next day. So I didn't see that email until about, I would say about almost close to like 1 a.m, because I had a great workout last night. I'll say that much, So like, it was a lot of fun doing what I got to do. And then I was like trying to relax after, when you do an intense workout and it's like really good and it's enough to put you to sleep. I had one of those. And then I was reading emails to try to unwind from the day. And that's where I found that email from Visible. Like, what the hell is going on here? So it's not like a super big deal where I'm going to dwell on it a whole lot. If they don't fix it, fine, so be it. You know what I mean? I'll leave the account canceled. No problem at all whatsoever. But yeah. And of course, I'm not going to spend my life trying to badmouth Visible or anything like that. Visible has been good. It has been good in the past. Lately, not so much, to be honest. And it's actual fact. There's a lot of people on Reddit that are on the Visible thread on Reddit that I'm reading a lot of their experiences, and their experiences kind of correlates with mine too as well. I did notice, performance drop in network connectivity with Visible. Never had this problem before. Visible was actually pretty solid here, even on LTE. 5G here, not all that great. Of course, a lot of people are like, well, it's DSS, and I get that. And I also get that, the downlink is capped at 200 megabits per second. I get it totally, but I'm not even pulling like 8 megabits per second on a downlink. That's how far down Visible has gone lately here. Now it could just be maybe from network upgrading. Verizon probably upgrading the network out here in Phoenix to make it better. Who knows? But I do know that it has kind of gone downhill. And even if things get fixed between my account and Visible, I'll still say that their services it's been subpar lately. That's all, that's really what I got to say on that. So, Visible, fix it. Anyways, and then so the last half, this is going to be a short live stream today, by the way. It's not going to be an hour long. But the last thing I'm going to talk about is Google Fi. This is an interesting thing that myself and others on Reddit have been discussing and talking about. And we kind of noticed this. And I started to notice this a while back, but I just didn't really think too much of it. So I started seeing people having the same thing. And so this, I kind of challenge Fi to actually figure out what's going on here. And it's kind of ridiculous of some of the workarounds that people are doing to alleviate this problem, because this should not even be a problem at all. So there are people who kind of migrate over to Google Fi. Like a lot of people that I'm hearing that switch to Google Fi, they're coming from Ting. They're coming from a lot of these other MVNOs, and they're opting for the 1 GB plans, 2 GB plans. You know, they're not going fully unlimited or unlimited with deprioritization or unlimited with throttle cap. They're just going for basic like 1 gig to 2 gig plans. And of course, you know, they rarely use any data. And one of the things that they're noticing is how fast they go through data being on Google Fi than they did previously, like on a different MVNO like Ting or Mint Mobile with the lower, like, you know, 2 gig plan or 3 gig plan. They are noticing that on Google Fi, for some reason, their data goes quickly. You know, a person who keeps the same habits. So a person that I chatted with on Reddit was like, the phone that they use on Fi is a business phone. And they only use it for mostly like calls and text messages. Data wise, they only use the apps that's installed on their business phone to deal with day-to-day work and getting and being productive with their job. And they noticed that the same habits that they've always had on their smartphone, when they were on Ting or they were on some other MVNO with a small data amount, like 1 gig or 2 gig plan, those plans were fine. The amount of data they used didn't even come close. Like a guy that I was chatting up with was like, I don't even come close to using 1 gig in a month on my business phone. But then they thought they could, like, you know, they can save a little bit more, and they switched to Google Fi and went on the Flex plan. And from their findings on that, the same patterns that they would do on that business phone would end up giving them a result of maybe like using 1.5 gigs or 2 gigs. When being on Ting, they were using less than 1 gig. So a lot of people are talking about that on Reddit. This is something that's actually going on. And we have a question for Google Fi. How are you guys calculating data usage? Like what metrics are you using for this? Because it is weird. Like when I had left Google Fi in my previous situation, and I switched to Metro because I actually needed a lot more than a 22 gig cap point. I used to think too, about 2 years ago on Fi, even when I didn't connect to Wi-Fi and was dependent solely on data, I never reached 20 gigs. And my pattern usage with my phone is still the same. It hasn't changed at all whatsoever. I still watch YouTube every now and then. I still chat, you know, on chat platforms. I still check Facebook. I still, you know, tweet on Twitter. I still do all these things. So to me, it was just like, what changed on their end? That's the question that I have, because now if I didn't have home Wi-Fi and I was solely dependent on Google Fi, I know before my bill cycle is over, I would burn 22 gigs of data. And you know, I was thinking about like, well, maybe my habits did change, or maybe it's because it's connected to sub-6 5G that it's, you know, burning more data or some, you know, some crap like that. You know, just me trying to spitball ideas as to why. And then I thought about it again, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. I used to have 3 phones on Google Fi. I only had 1 Google Fi line. And so basically it's 1 SIM in my main phone, 2 data-only SIMs in 2 different phones. And I would use them all. And I still wouldn't reach 22 gigs. So what's changed? And this is now the big question. And I'm calling out Google Fi on this because some next level effery is going on right now. And a lot of Fi customers are experiencing. And we want to know why. What's changed? Because like one of the things that myself and like 7 other people on Reddit have posted, we posted about some things that people could do to cut back on it. Like going into developer options. my son. Oh, you guys can see him in the mirror. Now you guys saw my son. But yeah, so we pitch the idea to people like, okay, you know what? When you are connected to home Wi-Fi, let's disable certain things so then that way it's not relying on mobile data. And one of the users that was on Reddit was like discussing with people and was like, hey, I found out that even if you're connected to Wi-Fi and you have your apps in the Play Store for Android phones to auto update, it will auto update using cellular. And we're like, what? I never heard of that. I always heard of if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you're connected to Wi-Fi. If in the Google Play Store you select auto update only on Wi-Fi, it should be only on Wi-Fi. But maybe somebody had it turned on mobile and Wi-Fi, and that's the reason why it used mobile data. But to be on the safe side, just turn off auto update. And then, just go in the Play Store and check like once a week to see if there's any apps that needs to be updated. And then you do it. But one of the things that I suggested and several other people suggested was to basically open developer options in Android, go in that, and where it says keep mobile data active, toggle that off so that when you actually switch to Wi-Fi on your phone, it will kill connection to mobile data. And to see if that offsets the amount of data that is showing you're using per day on Google Fi. I was like, with me, I'm on the unlimited plus, right? Because I do use the data only SIM card. I can transfer it into a tablet that I have that's a LTE model tablet. I can put it in any additional phone that I want to run it on. No problems at all whatsoever. So yeah, but I do have a limitation, and that limitation is a 22 gigabyte data cap throttle. So when I pass 22 gigs, it's slowed down to speeds that go to 256 kilobits per second. Not the best for anything. All right. Barely can do things, but you can still do like social media, stuff like that. Like you can still do Facebook and Twitter. You just can't do a lot of the media stuff on there, right? So you can't really watch a Facebook video all that clearly and that stuff. So definitely calling out Google Fi for that as to what's going on, and for them to be open and be transparent with how things are, or to look at their operations and see, is there a glitch in the system on how it's calculating data used? Because for somebody who can be on Ting, who can be on Mint Mobile, who can be on any mvno and choose their lowest data package, which is like 1 gigabyte, and make that work for them for 30 days, and then obviously try to save a buck or two and switch to Google Fi, and then it's showing their data calculations exceeding a gigabyte when they're still doing the same things they've always done with their phone, the same routine, same pattern. That says a lot. I think that was the thing that really kind of like busted that gate open really wide for me to really look at Google Fi and say, what the hell are you doing? Coffee is so good. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Two companies that I've advocated for, I have to bring bad news, because the Google Fi thing's bad news. If they're miscalculating data, that's a bit shitty. And there are people that would rely on Fi for different things. Like people always ask me, why do you keep going back to Fi? What makes Fi so great? My mother lives in Thailand. That's why I go to Fi. My mom lives in Thailand. I can call her for free. I know there's different other carriers, and you could probably do this or add that feature, add that package or whatever. I'm not looking to add things. Just simply call my mom. And that's why I'm on Fi, because I can call her. If I happen to go to Thailand to go see her, my phone will work there. I won't have to go and get like an international SIM from their country and put it in my phone. My phone will work, and it will work with no additional add-ons. Don't have to add on an international package or none of that stuff, right? Because I'm on the Unlimited Plus. If I was on Simply Unlimited, my phone wouldn't work in Thailand. And that is the difference between Simply Unlimited and Unlimited Plus, right? Simply Unlimited, you don't get hotspot, you don't get data only SIM, and you don't get functionality in other countries. The only places that you'll be able to use your phone at is in the North American continent. So that's Canada, United States, and Mexico. And that's it. So yeah, but that's why I go back to Fi. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this live stream. Not too long of a live stream, guys. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Anyways, if you guys made it all the way up to this point, thank you so much for chatting, hanging out. Really appreciate it. Hashtag hump days or hump day drama. Let's just do that. Hashtag hump day drama to let me know that you guys made it all the way to this point if you're on the replay crew. And yeah, thanks for checking it out. Have your mom. No, I'm not going to have my mom do all this type of stuff, bro. She had a stroke a couple years ago. So I'm not going to have my mom do all this other stuff. Like, she's really in bad shape. So FI works out for me, man. But I appreciate it, bro. I know what you mean, because I know how you advocate for Text Now, and Text Now is actually really good. I would have her do that. I know it's an app, bro, but trust me, like, I'm not gonna put my mom through that. And I know the way that my mom thinks right now, and it's not the same how she used to think before. Like, she's really bad. So I'm not gonna stress her out on that. But anyways, I appreciate the suggestion. Everyone else, take it easy. Appreciate you guys for being here. Love you guys very much. Be safe. Middle of the week, so just the second half of the week left, and you're good for the weekend. And yeah, I'll chat with y'all later. Y'all be cool. Be safe. Thanks out to the channel members that are still channel members. Appreciate you guys so much for taking a chance on this guy. Y'all are awesome and amazing. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.